Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So it's been a while, but I want to go ahead and talk about the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, the world's greatest detective. Of course I'm talking about the Batman. It's been a while since I reviewed a Batman game, and considering I've already reviewed the other 8-bit and 16-bit Batmans, I think it's time we take a look at Return of the Joker. However, there are 4 different versions of this Sunsoft game that all play a little bit different. There's the NES version, which came out first. There was a Game Boy version that actually plays more like the original Batman on the NES, which is cool but really hard. There's the Super Nintendo version, which isn't too bad, but for some reason goes by the name Revenge of the Joker instead of Return of the Joker. And you know, this version was actually never officially released. However, the ROM did get leaked, so you can still play it via emulator. And then there's the Genesis version, also going by the name Revenge of the Joker. It's probably the worst of the bunch, the gameplay doesn't feel as tight, and the music and sound effects are just poison to the ears. So I want to talk about the version I think is best, the original, the NES. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is Batman Return of the Joker. So Return of the Joker is interesting because it's actually a follow-up to the NES Batman game based off the Tim Burton film. While Return of the Joker is its own self-contained story, it does use a lot of imagery from the movies, such as the Batmobile, the Batwing, and all of the logos. However, Return of the Joker also uses a lot of art and inspiration from the comic books, so it's a sequel to the movie, but also not. So the story here is that some mysterious person is stealing precious metals from Gotham's mines and using them to build explosive missiles. Who else could be behind this other than the Joker? Batman is on his trail and plans to take Joker out. Though if this is a sequel, then Joker's dead because Batman straight up murdered him. Remember this? Maybe this game mixes in with that whole 3 Jokers bullshit from the comics. As we start the game, our Caped Crusader plops on screen and is ready to kick ass. In this game, he's able to jump, slide kick, and shoot with his wrist projector. Yeah, the mighty wrist projector. It shoots across the screen, and if you hold down the B button, you can charge it for a super attack. There's also several types of ammo you can get. The most useful one, I think, is the Batarang. It's weak, but it chases the enemy on screen. But now that we know what Batman can do, let's kick some ass. The first stage has us in the Gotham City Cathedral, where we previously killed Joker. There's some spiky balls that fall, a few grunts to beat up, and demon-possessed gargoyles that I think actually belong in something more like Castlevania rather than a Batman game. We reach the end and we see a blimp in the distance, or oh shit, right in front of us. We'll dodge some missiles and fight some more grunts, and at the end we'll have our first boss fight with Ace Ranger. What I like about this game is that the boss fights turn into almost like a fighting game. Instead of fighting with your regular health bar, you and your boss get a highly sophisticated point system. Beat him up and take down his points without getting killed yourself. The not-so-Ace Ranger is easy enough to beat up. Stage 2 has us in the Joker's warehouse. It's not so bad here. Actually, one thing you'll notice while playing this game is that the levels themselves aren't too long. There's 7 stages in the whole game, and they contain 2 acts each. Anyway, once we get past the rather short section, we're friggin' flying. Whee! Now we're flying around, looking like the new must-have Batman action figure with some cool wing accessories. Shoot your way to the end and we'll reach stage 3, the Snow Mountain. And at this point in the game I'm thinking, hey, this is pretty fun. And then this stage happened. Before I get to that though, I want to point out just how great the graphics are for this NES title. The snow effect, the trees moving in the background, the way Batman and even his cape moves. This is a really good looking game for the NES. But back to action. Like I said, this game takes a turn for the worse. You're just walking, doing your thing, when suddenly missiles come out of nowhere and smack you in the face. Ooh! This stage is all about kicking your ass before you even have time to react. Grr! I hate stages in games where I feel like I have to slowly shimmy in case something random flies at me. The second part of the stage has us in a cave, where again, more shit is flying at us. There's also another section with one-hit kill spikes that bounce up and down. Be careful and we'll eventually reach the boss, Mind Droid. Really? Mind Droid? They couldn't use any real Batman villains? I appreciate how in the other NES Batman game, they at least got some C-list villains like Firefly, Heatwave, and Maxi Zeus. But this game has no one other than Joker at the end. They really couldn't put like the Penguin or Mr. Freeze at the end of this ice level? Gah! Anyway, this robot isn't too hard to beat. Just maneuver around his jumping pattern and you should be fine. Stage 4 is the refinery. We're on a nice little moving train level. I should point out at this time that you'll notice a little bar underneath your health. Sometimes when beating up bad guys, they'll drop these little icons here. Pick up enough to fill up your bar, and you'll transform into a golden invincible Batman. Woo! After this part, we'll reach the longest level section in the game, the assembly plant. You'll jump around a few platforming areas, beating up grunts, and you'll even go through a couple elevator sections with lots of robots and little beam balls of death. When we get to the end, we reach the next boss, Master CPU. This to me is the easiest boss in the game. Well, at least for me, because I had the Batarang power-up. I can literally stand in one spot and defeat this guy. Stage 5 brings us to the underground conduit. This sewer section can be pretty tricky as you're dealing with more enemies throwing stuff at you before you can react, while also trying to keep your foot placement in the sewer water. It's a bit challenging, but once you get past it, we'll go through another flying section that isn't as hard. And after this, we reach Stage 6, the ammunition base. The first platforming part isn't so bad, but the next section can get a little tough. You're following a tank as enemies pop out and try to attack you. There's also other shit falling down at you, and the ground starts breaking down behind you. So maneuver the best you can, and with the right weapon, you should be able to make it through. Now we reach the boss, the Joker. The Joker is in a little Dr. Eggman ship, and he flies around shooting bubbles. Friggin' bubbles! With this fight, try to position yourself under Joker and just shoot the hell out of him. After enough hits, blammo, he's defeated. He escapes, but let's chase him. We follow him to his hideout in Stage 7, Island of Hacienda. And no, I didn't say that weird, it is Hacienda. You know, haha, like a laugh, because Joker laughs. Just making sure we're all on the same page before we continue this review. So this level is a lot like the snow level, with the cheap hits and all that, but instead of random little missiles hitting you in the face, we're getting these flying little machines looping around you. These are even worse. We're almost to the final fight. We just gotta get past this last section with traps. Shit! 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 Alright, here we go. With the power of Thor, let's do this! So Joker is in this giant contraption. He shoots buzzsaws at you while these 4 little gears also shoot laser balls. Destroy all those pieces and then the centerpiece and Joker is exposed. Now he'll throw buzzsaws as well as little laser balls. Move around the screen to avoid the laser balls while jumping over buzzsaws, while also shooting him, and will eventually take him out. Batman jumps into the Batwing and he flies away, all while the island explodes. And that's it, the game is over. Wait, there wasn't a lot explained at this ending. Did Batman just leave Joker to die on the island? Did he throw him in the Batwing to send him to Arkham? What about the other people that were on the island? Again, NES Batman takes no shit from anybody. So, that's Batman Return of the Joker. How was the game? Well, to be honest, the game is actually pretty good. The only real negatives I have about this game is some of the cheap shots it has. The snow level and the jungle level are really the only 2 levels that really frustrated me. It was that, oh shit, something is about to come out and hit me, so I better continuously tap the forward button instead of just marching forward to be safe type levels. The other levels were challenging too, but if I died, I felt like I could do better on the next turn. Sunsoft, to no surprise, made a pretty good game here. The gameplay works very well. The levels, while short, keeps the game going at a pretty good pace. The power-ups are fair, the boss fights are fair, the music is fantastic, and the visuals are really great too. So, yeah, I really don't have anything bad to say about this game. I'll admit I don't think it's as fun as the other Batman NES game, but this one is pretty great too, which is why I'm surprised that I don't really hear anyone talk about this game. It's action-packed, and it looks great. If you know what you're doing, you could beat this game in around a half hour or so, but it's fun the whole time, at least to me. if you're gonna play any variation of the game, make sure it's this one here. But these are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of Batman Return of the Joker? Do you like the NES version? Do you like the other versions? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you don't like this video, give it a dislike. Whatever. And go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And like always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.